Did you say you were going to start with the song?
What?
Please leave all that in so people can see how you're just grinning maniacally instead of doing your job. Just play the song now. You said you were going to play the song, and then you forgot because the Panthers have you drunk with power.
Hey, man, I'm happy, man. Play a song.
Oh, no. Knicks fan Taylor. No.
I come back from a garden night. My mother asked that the Knicks must have lost, right? Oh, mother dear, we're now the fortunate ones. New York has Jalen Brunson. Oh, New York has Jalen Brunson. The ball in his hands, and the score is tight. My father yells, best thing to happen in my life. Oh, daddy dear, signing him is number one. New York has Jalen Brunson. Oh, New York really has. He's all we really want. Brunson will win the game when it is done because New York has Jalen Brunson. New York has Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson.
People have paid us for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
wrong, immoral.
Sam Morrill. Guy's a hack.
Totally.
He's mad at all of us.
You know, I used to like him.
He's
Should
mad-
be.
Now I
he's
can't.
Mad at
You liked him?
himself. Be
I liked
funny.
him.
I mean,
He's now mad at everybody.
interesting.
Tony, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to. This is a delayed penalty.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes for adding nothing.
In your dismount on the Timberwolves.
I know what it was. I'll go.
Wait, I want to know what it was.
I'd like to know.
Right. Seems like a ticky-tack call.
Well, he just held his hand up.
Yeah, that was
Ball off me.
I don't actually know. I haven't talked to him about this, so I don't know if he has this right. I wonder if he knows, and I want to call him back in here to get him to
You
explain.
can't. I mean,
What could he have possibly thought it was that he was that worried to just
I
walk out?
I want to see what he's got here, if indeed he's got anything, because I want to see if we're on the same wavelength here, because I can't believe that he would know exactly what my criticism is going to be.
No, I know exactly what it was, and I know because when I said it, I was like, okay, thank God he said something, and I didn't have to say anything other than that. When you asked me if it was a size, like, yeah, it's a size. I think they have something there, and then we kind of just left it for like 3 seconds, and then you moved on, and I was like, woof. All right,
Yes,
good.
okay, good. You know what?
Yeah.
You can no.
I can stay? You're reversing the penalty?
Yes, for just a blanket for
After review?
Yeah, well, because
Judge?
because the honesty
Amazing.
and the ability to know. Now, Stugotz says I should escalate it to a 5-minute major, but I think he should be forgiven because what I was going to complain about is, you may have noticed, Zach Lowe, very popular at least in part because he's doing a very, very difficult thing well, which is explaining in bite-sized morsels something that shows you that he has more information than just about anybody analyzing basketball the way that he's doing it with the analytics. That's what he does to great success. I throw the NBA is back to Tony. He says of the Timberwolves, there's something there.
Well, that was after a long conversation about narratives, about now the league is changing hands and we're passing the torch. And
I know, but there's something there is something we can say about every there that's there.
There's always something, right? And I had something. The thing is, do you want to go on a long diatribe about how the Wolves have great size, how Julius Randle's been playing great, how me and Jeremy were talking about how Gobert is actually the anchor of that defense, allows Julius Randle to play more of like a 3 instead of a 4 or a 5, allows him to play bully ball with guys that are smaller than him, which is, by the way, what Cat's been dealing with when they play him smaller defenders. All of a sudden, Cat's not that good. The Knicks aren't that good if he gets defended by smaller guys. What happened in Denver? All of a sudden, Alex Caruso playing against Jokic. Turnovers. Did you know what the different turnover differential for the Oklahoma City Thunder off points and the Denver Nuggets was yesterday? 37-7. 37 points on turnovers OKC did have. So, and that was another thing, and I'm going to leave after that. Thank you.
Zach Lowe blocked me on Twitter one time.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird.
Sounds like a low blow.
I had no idea why.
Hey.
Okay, you know what? What are we doing? What,
Low blow.
Hey,
One checks out.
Hey, no.
I'm going too.
Minor
you
penalty,
stay.
2 minutes. High sticking.
Jeremy, we're going to have to name that the Jeremy Memorial Award.
2 minutes for being Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, are you ready to do weekend observations? We haven't gotten them in a while, and Amin is a pale imitation. Are you ready to attack your weekend observations?
Sure.
Is there some Scotty Scheffler in there? There's
some Scotty Scheffler in there, yeah, of course.
Roy, do you have any thoughts on RG3 making a heel turn? Do we have? Is that going to be found? Probably not in weekend observations. Let's see what's in weekend observations.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Dan, after they announced their final tour in 2023, I made sure I was at every show. I thought it was over. Then they gave me not one, but 2 residences at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Once again, thought it was done. But Dan, for their 60th anniversary, that's right, I said 60th, they announced a 3-night extravaganza at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. And Dan, just like that, make no mistake about it, Dead & Company is back.
What does this mean to your schedule? What's going to happen?
It means I'll be off in August.
I know what it means for me.
Hey!
Stugotz's line now is just to go, hey, when Zaz says something.
I'm happy for Zaz. I mean, thank you for allowing me on your show today. Boston Celtics. At least you'll always have the Luke Cornett game. For a brief moment after Game 5, how many people also thought the Celtics might just be better without Jason Tatum? I did it.
That team, if Brown hadn't also been hurt, I believe that team without Tatum could be as good as the Knicks. I don't think that's an absurd thing to say. They won 60 games. They're not a 50-win team. It's a good they're 5 deep in a way that is unusual for the league.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander not only won the series, but he won the MVP. Congratulations, SGA. Now do it in the Western Conference Finals. And if you do it in the NBA Finals.
There it is.
Nikola Jokic, the choker.
Jokic, the yoker. When Jokic, the yoker.
The choker. I would love to watch 5 Alex Carusos versus 5 Al Horfords. Something would have to give. You would watch that. Yeah, but you would watch that. There's 5 Carusos on the court taking on 5 Horfords.
There's so much diving for loose balls there going on. Unfortunately, the game is 9-6.
Yeah. Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Mets and Yankees, little Subway Series. WFAN, 20 shares, collision course. What a time to be a sports radio host in New York. Oh, my God. Juan Soto, overrated. Taylor. I would never say that. LeBron tweeting, the best 2 words in sports is Game 7. Hey, LeBron, get your own bit. When you think MLB rivalry week, you think Mariners-Padres. The Vetter Cup.
The Angels swept the Dodgers this weekend for the first time in 15 years.
Yeah. But Mariners-Padres? Rivalry? The Vetter Cup? Vetter's a Cub fan.
That's true.
It's weird. How was Pearl Jam's house? I haven't seen you in a while.
So good.
The greatest.
So good.
Jalen Brunson is what Kristaps Porzingis was supposed to be. He's also what Luka Doncic was supposed to be. That's the one they let get away. You agree?
Doncic.
I don't care.
It's obvious.
I mean, win something and I'll pronounce your name correctly. Win anything.
I thought we might be able to trick him if we asked, where's Julius Randle playing, even after having
Timberwolves.
No, but I think we could have gotten you.
No coach's name and looks work better in the city that he coaches in than Rick Carlisle. He should coach there forever.
Hasn't he?
I don't know. Has he?
I mean, I don't imagine there are a lot of coaches that have had that
looks
much.
like Indiana.
How many years has Carlisle had in Indiana? Is he the longest? Would his tenure in Indiana be longer than anybody but Spoelstra's in the NBA? Like, coaches don't get to last.
It's his second stint there.
I know, but in terms of total years, if we're talking about Carlisle coaching the Pacers, does he have more total years with one franchise than anyone but Pop and Spo? Who am I forgetting? Am I forgetting somebody?
Steve Kerr?
No, he's got to have more years than that. Carlisle would have.
He has to, yeah.
Would have. I think he would have the third longest, amount of years by a good amount, given how much. Weren't you complaining this morning? Didn't you come in here complaining that being an NBA coach used to mean something?
It did. I mean, listen, we have 4 teams right now playing in the conference finals, and I'm telling you, I couldn't name a Western Conference final head coach. What has happened to Cotton Fitzsimmons?
Yeah, but this is just because you've been at Dead & Company frying your brain. It's not because...
Dan, if I was playing blackjack in Vegas, okay, at the Wynn before a Dead show with either of the coaches of the Western Conference Finals, I wouldn't know it. More people would recognize me at that blackjack table than either of those 2 coaches. It used to mean something. What happened to Del Harris?
He's right, though. Adelman is very inconspicuous.
What happened to Del Harris?
Gene Shue.
Put it on the poll, Juju. What happened to Del Harris?
I mean, the only reason I know the Eastern Conference coaches is because I'm paying attention to the Eastern Conference.
You don't say.
Otherwise, I would have no idea that Tom Thibodeau was coaching the Knicks.
This is the 8th season in total that Carlisle has been with the Pacers.
Huh.
I thought it was
as
longer.
the head coach. He was an assistant there for 3 or 4 years before that.
So Steve Kerr has been longer with the Warriors than Carlisle has been with the Pacers? So I had that wrong. I'm just remembering. I had his first run being longer than that because it involved the Malice at the
It was
Palace.
4 years, and then he's in his 4th year now.
It was 03 through 07.
But the coaches were everything. It was Billy Cunningham. It was Casey Jones. You remember this?
You long for this?
I do. What happened to the coaching profession?
I don't.
Bernie
really-
Bickerstaff.
I don't.
Oh, Bernie Bickerstaff. Kevin Lockery. Locke.
I mean, you've still got a Bickerstaff. I thought if you liked that name, you would just like it now that it's his son. Like there's put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is there always going to be a Bickerstaff in
Who does he
basketball?
coach? Who does JB Bickerstaff coach?
Ooh, JB Bickerstaff.
You haven't been watching.
They had a really good season. Made the playoffs.
Made the playoffs.
Were a really
Good
bad team last
He's
year.
season.
Shaquille O'Neal. He's Shaq. And well, but not only that.
Historically bad.
Pace? No,
Carlisle the Pacers.
that's right. Second stint.
Think of Malice in the Palace.
The Bucks.
I mean, Jalen Brunson had a moment for all time to break his heart.
JB Bickerstaff.
How are you not watching that series?
I mean, I
Probably
was.
Second in Coach of the Year voting this year.
I'm not watching who the coach is.
One of the greatest crossovers I've ever seen.
Who was it against?
Iverson? What happened to Paul Westhead? Paul Goldschmidt. Still got it.
That's crazy that he still got it. How?
Yankees.
Pablo Torre doing a report on Bill Belichick's girlfriend and UNC, immediately saying how wrong he was. It sounds like Pablo Torre around and found out. That should be the new name of his podcast. Pablo Torre around and finds out.
All right, Taylor. Come on. His fingerprints are all over that one.
I mean,
course.
but it's also why it's called Pablo Torre Finds Out.
Oh, he fucked around and found out.
And he got it right, and North Carolina's lying. Like, you got nothing right here. Like, nothing. Not the coach of the Pistons, not where DiVincenzo plays.
The Pistons, huh?
I can't believe you told him, Dan.
Chuck Daly.
That was a coach. That was a coach.
Thank you. Roy says Larry Brown, not a coach, though. I don't like Larry Brown.
What?
I don't like him.
What do you mean, Larry?
I'm
Brown?
just-
Championship.
Listen, I am saying all the coaches were celebrities back in the day. Cotton Fitzsimmons didn't win a thing, but you knew who Cotton Fitzsimmons was.
None of those people did. None of
That's
the
my
people
point.
Paul Westphal.
Yeah, but you knew him.
That's
Where
good.
is Dan Issel?
Yeah, right.
You knew Dan Issel. If you were playing blackjack with Dan Issel, you knew you were playing blackjack with the head coach.
Tony, just so that you know, okay, the NBA will
Big
not
hands.
be back until Stugotz looks on a sideline, sees a guy in a suit, and says, that guy looks like Dan Issel. That's what I needed. I needed someone paroling the sidelines in a suit.
I wonder what the diagram that we would have to make of like Stu knowing the coaches versus when they stopped wearing suits. Like whatever that axis point
You know what we
is.
have to do? We have to do this.
You're onto
We have to
something.
quiz him next time he's on with just faces of people who are famous in sports that he should know that his brain has been fried because Grateful Dead.
Put that on the calendar. Mid-August, boys.
To do it, or that you're going to be gone.
Yeah, he's going to be gone. That's when we can do it, when he's not here. He already told us he's going to be on vacation.
I'll be back. I mean, it's 3 shows. Golden Gate Park, early August. I'll be back mid-August. I'm just saying, if you're going to do it right after 3 dead shows. That's all I'm saying. You can't spell Austin Matthews without no show. Try it. I have. Austin Matthews is the Wayne Gretzky of Joel Embiid's.
Do you know how much spelling you just made us do on Austin Matthews?
There's only one O in Austin Matthews.
No show. You only need one O.
You can use it 2 times like
Those are my
Martinez.
rules,
Martinez
yes.
on
Thank
first
you.
and third. He's there in both places.
Thank you.
Let's slide into that O.
The 7 in Game 7 stands for how many straight Game 7s the Leafs have lost.
That's crazy. I mean, it really is crazy. I mean, what a bunch of losers. I mean, you can't. I'm not even being mean. It's
Poor
just
people in Toronto,
It's just
Dan.
factual.
I mean, they're in an igloo ice fishing right now.
Toronto's a major city.
Nah, Stu's right.
He thinks they're like Eskimos.
Yeah, we're at the beach and
All
they're
they
in
have
an
is
igloo.
hockey. We have everything. And they lost a Sunrise. I mean,
Stugotz's rapid descent into just spectacular ignorance. Like, you just put Toronto's a big ass city, Stugotz.
you say so.
You have them ice fishing in an igloo. Like,
is that Ottawa?
that's Winnipeg. Those poor people.
Yeah.
Do you know how
I feel bad for
frustrating
them.
this is where they're like, Tampa's as far south as all that's going to go, right? Like, we're not going to go any further than that. All the Canadians on Hollywood Beach wearing socks and sandals. We're not going to go that far. Really? Really? That's going to take out McDavid? It's going to hide the puck in the corner and take out McDavid.
Dallas.
They must hate us so much right now. I sounded like Trump the first 2 hours of the show, making fun of Canada.
I love when the announcers say a goalie is standing on his head. I don't know what it means, but
That's the same thing Chris said last week.
Just
What
like
it,
it.
what it means is, instead of legs, he's on his head and he's stomping everything.
Oh.
Why do you guys not know what this means?
just like it.
Well, it's ridiculous because if he actually stood on his head, he'd be a much less effective goalie.
Not if you were Bobrovsky. That's the point.
Now I get it.
The point is that he can. You try and get it past him, and he saves it with his butt. He saves it with his head. He saves it on his head. He saves it however he wants.
Carlo saved it with his butt, not
But
Bobrovsky.
Bobrovsky can also save it with his butt while standing on his head.
The O in O Canada stands for how many Canadian teams have lifted a Stanley Cup in the last 32 years.
It has to make him insane, right?
For Canada.
Right? Like, just they care.
It's their game, Dan.
They care so much, and Tony's back there saying He doesn't know the name of a crease or the color of a blue line.
Maybe they should care less. I saw Kachuk was on Spit and Chicklets this morning, basically saying, like, the fans deserve a little, like, that's too much pressure. We don't have to deal with that. Like, I don't want to blame the fans for too much pressure, but there is something to the effect of back off a little bit. You're not helping.
Where's Jim Lynam?
That's what I'm talking about. You knew him. You're sitting at a blackjack table and Jimmy Lyman's there. You know it, Jim.
I think you just went dyslexic there. You
What happened to Dr. Jack?
The M before the N. What did happen to Dr. Jack?
Rest in peace.
Crusher.
Leonard!
Leonard.
Leonard!
Thunder. Thunder.
Dan, you know what the N in Nikola and the J in Jokic stands for? They stand for not Jordan. Never will be Jordan. Never should have been compared to Jordan. It stands for not today, not tomorrow, not at any point in history will Jokic be better than Michael Jordan. Little wordy.
Except statistically, when you do the advanced metrics on offensive game and efficiencies.
The greatest player ever.
But okay.
He's not.
Okay.
It's 6 shots in a game 7.
It was 9, but
9.
it
Get your own shots.
OKC's very good at defense. They can frustrate people.
The Pistons weren't.
Where's George Karl?
That's what I'm talking about.
I know.
What happened to Georgie?
Zaz can play this game for the rest of your life.
I'm waiting for a Dick Mata.
Just got him.
John Lucas. Shohei Ohtani. Do it against the Angels. I don't like this Ohtani guy.
What?
He's not that good.
You're infuriating.
Unbelievable.
3 majors, 15 wins, 28 years old. Close your eyes for a second, Dan. Imagine Scotty Scheffler was black.
Holy. Oh, my God.
That arrest would have gone over differently.
Oh, yeah.
He'd still be in jail.
Only have 2 majors. We're not talking enough about him.
Where's
He's in a
Bob
good-
Hill?
Thank you. What a head of hair. Silver, right?
You know it.
Such a good one. If you look closely at just their faces, Scotty Scheffler and Elvis Presley look exactly alike. The King. Scotty Scheffler, droopy face. It's impossible for anyone to run downhill and not look clumsy. It's hard.
Put it on the poll.
Not level ground.
At LeBatard Show. Is it possible to run downhill without looking clumsy?
Read a story over the weekend, Dan, about the Celtics needing to start over. That was quick.
Right? That's kind of stunning, right? No one had it quite like that, right? Where we go from, oh, whoa, over?
Yeah.
No.
Second apron?
No. Again.
Rebuild.
Again, these things, 4 and 5 years at a time, really hard. Ligaments tear, bodies break, people hate each other. It seems like these people don't. Denver just fell apart at the end, Stugotz.
Mm-hmm. Is there a worse reputation to have than being the franchise that is called the franchise where quarterbacks go to die? The Bears. I think Caleb didn't want to go there. I don't blame him, by the way. Quarterbacks go to die.
The Jets are going to have that reputation shortly.
Well, they have it.
If they're, I don't know. With
Yeah, they had Geno Smith. He's moved on. They had Sam Darnold. He's moved on. Those guys have made Pro Bowls. They have that reputation. Anyway.
Where's Doug Moe?
Oh, Doug Moe. Jesus. Coach K. Great name for a drug. Things you think about, man. When you think you're seeing Coach K walking around the Wynn at the Sphere. Oh, what a great time I had with him, I think.
1,000 Coach Ks.
I don't know if I
just it really does sound like mushrooms and Grateful Dead to just see a desert of just Unending Coach K's.
I was asking people, is there a coaching convention going on here? I keep seeing Coach K. No one else saw him. That's why I'm a bit.
Well, that's probably why it was the drugs. Yes.
If you have the Maple Leafs in a Game 7 on their home ice, you've got them exactly where you want them. Amazing.
Put it on the poll. Is every single Maple Leaf fan a loser?
Yo, where's Rudy T?
Jeez, one of the greats. The two most magical words in sports are Game 7. Unless you're a Leafs fan, then it's hell on earth. Speaking of hell, or Bryles. Dan, those are the weekend observations.
Since 2018, the Toronto Maple Leafs are 0-7 in make-or-break-it games, and they've been outscored 28-9. Yesterday it was
crazy.
75 shots in 2 periods. Like that, just for a moment, imagine Stugotz as a sports fan, 25 years of failure, irrelevance, New York Knicks, New York Jets. It hurts, it stinks. He dares to hope. They fail all the time. Aaron Rodgers injured after a play.
3 plays.
Toronto was buoyant. Toronto hasn't felt that good in a long time. They were an overtime goal away from up 3-0 on the defending champions, and then they come and do the unthinkable. They win Game 6 and shut out Florida at home and make Florida fans, whether they admit it or not, a hiccup of, oof, Game 7 on the road isn't very comfortable except against them.
Right.
Historically against them because the fans care so much that the players feel it, and all of a sudden Matthews is a no-show with 1-0, which is not how you spell no-show.
You know what? I'm actually annoyed about this because it took an extra game for the Panthers to beat them. They should have won Game 6. Like, all this flying to Toronto, potential injury, now you got to fly to Raleigh. Like, they should have gotten the job done in Game 6.
I love how why do you have flying to Raleigh?
Why are you pounding on the desk?
It's 48 minutes. I mean,
Now they have to fly. Now they have to
I
fly
gotta
to
fly
Raleigh.
Carolina.
But why are you pounding on the desk as you say this? It should have been 6.
It should have been 6.
Well, then you would have been denied outscoring them twice. 2 of 3 games for your season, 2 of them at home.
come on, Roy. That's the best feeling in sports. Their home ice. Their fans were leaving early.
That's the greatest thing about this.
Hold on. Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. What is the greatest feeling in sports? Winning Game 7 on the road or winning Game 7 at home? Because I don't know if
A lot of athletes say that shutting up the opposing team's fans is the best feeling. Like, they say it all the time. I don't know if it's true.
Well, I would say the players who are most villainous say that. I don't say a lot. Chipper Jones said it. Reggie Miller said it. I don't think that that's a greater feeling, except unless if you're Brad Marchand, it might be if you run your life fueled on a flume of hate.
I believe that was actually the first time that Marchand won Game 7 against the Leafs in Toronto. I think all other 4 times were in Boston. So that was his first experience doing that in front of them also.
Dan, this is your thing, though. You love forcing a Game 7 for your team even when the fan base doesn't want it. Last year when the Panthers were up 3-0, you wanted them to blow it and go to 7, and that was not something that was going to be fun. This one, though, I'm with you. I kind of was happy that the Panthers lost Game 6 because I knew that they would go into Toronto and win Game 7. There's no more fear as a Panthers fan, and so you knew that you could experience the greatest joy of going into their barn, scoring 6 goals and winning.
All right, the barn was unnecessary there.
Very needed.
Totally
Hockey guy.
No, you need that.
The only part I
Canadian
liked.
arena?
That
that's
was actually the only part I liked of what he said.
Marchand had an apple in that game, right?
The barn,
2.
the barn is not needed there. No one needed the barn. I will say to you, though, as I'm watching a champion defend its title, and you've heard me be scared of Winnipeg, be scared of Toronto, be scared of Dallas, Edmonton's the scariest. Like that, I don't know what you guys are rooting for next. Roy, you can shrug your shoulders.
I think Carolina's the scariest. Carolina's good.
That's crazy.
Okay.
It's hockey can happen to
I'm
anybody.
supposed to be afraid of Frederickson.
I want to go back for a second. I want to examine, not unlike with Tony's, there's something there with Minnesota. I want to examine the conversational defect that Stugotz has when he stares at you after you've said Bob Hill, and the back and forth is, what a head of hair. Silver, right? So is he just wanting you to know that he knows that Bob Hill's hair was silver?
Special kind of
like
silver.
When he says silver right, it's not because he's asking you the question or is confused. It's because he wishes to show us that he knows the color of Bob Hill's
Bona
hair.
fides.
He's trying to make up for not knowing that J.B. Bickerstaff is even still coaching.
But was it silver? Or I feel like
burning.
I thought Bob Hill was like whitish. I didn't even know. That's why I stopped. I thought it was closer to.
Stugotz is right here. This is maybe white by the end of his career, but this is, I mean, I've got pictures of him right next to Greg Popovich in a more modern time,
Special.
and that is a clear and obvious silver hair.
Look how uncomfortable he looks as coach. They all had to dress like that? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what it meant something. Yes.
That is the time that Stugotz is longing for. Again, the barn. Unnecessary, and I don't know why it is that hockey people insist on referring to it as a barn. There is no other place where you go into someone else's barn.
Do you think it's insulting to, all the taxpayers in the city who pay billions of dollars to create this glorious arena, yet we're calling it a barn? Can you give me the origins? Because Chris is back there saying this is why it's called. Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Do you know why everyone refers to going into the opposing hockey arena, and only the opposing hockey arena, as the barn? Do any of you know why you say this thing? Also, does it stop being a barn when the Raptors are playing a game?
Wow, yeah.
Apparently, they used to turn barns into field houses where you could play hockey in the early times of hockey. So, in turn, that's why you're going into the barn.
Anytime I walk into that arena where the Panthers play, even if I'm going to Disney on Ice, I'm saying, you ready to walk into this barn, honey?
Well, wait a minute. What about Indiana? They play in a field house.
They do.
That's a different thing. A field house isn't a barn.
It's not a barn.
Field house is a field house.
Mm-hmm.
Barn's a totally different thing. Do you realize that Canada listens to this today, Toronto specifically, and says, listen to those idiots. They get to advance. They don't know about anything. Like every one of our grandkids grew up in a barn playing hockey.
We called it a barn. You are in a hockey. Like they're like, whoa, these guys know puck. He called it a barn.
That's right. That's
Tony knows hockey.
Night.
Between the pipes.
You're so right. The generations of families.
No, listen to me. They're not ice fishing.
They all play hockey.
No, they're listen to me. There's a family in Toronto right now where the suffering has been passed down 100 years of caring too much. All the blankets are Maple Leafs. All the things in the house are Maple Leaf. For some reason, they've tuned into today's show to listen to what the winners sound like and how little they know about the sport that Canada cares about. It is insulting. I'm trying to think of an example I could give the audience right now of something that you care about deeply, that some other country just came around and just stole it from you again and again. And for 30 years, all you do is lose. And the worst of you is Toronto, because you get kind of close. It's not even like the other losers in Canada that just lose forever. Like, honest to God, I don't know anything about Winnipeg, except they've got the Jets, and the Jets never win anything. Like, I literally don't know anything else about Winnipeg. Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Do you know anything else about Winnipeg other than they have the Jets?
Well, it's the second time that they've had the Jets. The first Jets moved to Arizona before moving to Utah.
Second stint. Yeah.
Losers, and none of them are worse than Toronto, because Toronto gets close and then loses, and everyone knows, oh, the pressure of that got to you. Look, you didn't lose 1-0. No, they caved your head in because you couldn't handle any of that. All of it was too much. And everyone knew it before they got to the arena. When you drove to the arena, you carried my grandfather's breath, loser breath, my dad's loser breath, my kid's loser breath. All we do is lose. We get close. We're going to lose. And the Panthers win all the big games.
Especially in the road barn.
Yeah.
How?
With guys from your country.
How? With a bunch of players who are down here going to Sawgrass Mills, thrilled that no one bothers them because no one cares about hockey over there. Like, thrilled. Every last Panther that gets to walk through Sawgrass Mills loves. Do you know what it's like for McDavid in Edmonton?
I love the visual of them going to the mall after a game.
Like walking around with a suitcase.
No one bothers them.
One of those like carts you have to like pay $1 for.
If there's still a Rainforest Cafe, I bet you Barkov can eat in a corner without anyone bothering.
Sitting on one of those stools that's actually an animal butt.
I think Barkov could sit at the bar.
The
right in
animal
middle.
butt stools.
Tell me I'm wrong that any one of these guys goes to Hollywood Beach and the only reason they'd get recognized is because of the Canadians who were there.
I told you at UFC last month, everyone was fawning over the celebrities who were sitting on the floor level and sitting in the row right behind me, completely inconspicuous. Sam Bennett and Aaron Ekblad just drinking beers.
Elbow room specifically, Kachuk's a king there. They know him there, but I'm with you in general.
No, but this is the thing they love so much beyond, no state income tax about living here. Fame's not a menu item. You don't get to choose how you get it. These guys do. If Kachuk wants to go drinking at the elbow room and be recognized, that's where he's going to go. He wants to go anywhere in Dade County? Have at it. Nobody knows who the hell you are.
I would tell him to move out of the way. But get out of the way. Who is this guy?
People are honking at him.
Ekblad. I don't know.
You're fighting them.
You could put a lineup, and I wouldn't be able to pull up Ekblad.
Let's do that. Let's do the game where we put coaches in front of
Thank
Stugotz
you.
and hockey players in front of you, and let's just have an ignorant off.
Seriously, imagine Don Nelson walking through Sawgrass Mills back in the 80s.
I want to play this game now. I want to play the game. Who can I put in front of Tony and Stugotz to make this work the best?
It's going to be a boring game for Tony. Oh, who's that player? I don't know.
I know.
Next.
But what? Imagine how it makes Toronto feel when that's what knocks out Matthews.
From game night to parties with friends or special anniversary, celebrating important occasions means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer since 1975. Now's a perfect time to celebrate legendary stories with friends, family, and a great tasting light beer. It's Miller time. When I think of Miller Lite, I think of me and my dad cheersing, watching a Marlins game on a cruise together. We get the and the cheers. It's just, when I think of Miller Lite, I think of times with my dad, times with family and friends. It's the original light beer since 1975, still iconic 50 years later. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
All right, let's do some post-game. Let's bring Juju aboard here. Hello, Juju. How are you today?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I thought the Celtics loss wouldn't hit me as hard as it did, but that thing was hitting, brothers. Like, whenever it was one thing to lose, like I do admit we would rather see the New York Knicks face the Pacers and potentially the Timberwolves and the Thunder over a Tatumless Boston. That'll be boring. We wouldn't get any new fans to the NBA that way. But as a Celtics fan, when they pan to the crowd and they showing John Stewart, Malik Yoba, Xena Warrior Princess, the cast of Party of Five, it just hit me straight in the heart. It's like, it just hurts so bad. This series took years off of my life, and I'm willing to admit that nothing hurts as worse as this series has hurt me.
I mean, Juju, you just said you're doing good when I asked you, and then you
Right.
went on a whole deal about how you lost years of your life.
And you won a title last year.
I mean, I want to give the people what they want. They don't want me to come on here being like, oh, I didn't care. I like Chris Whittingham earlier. Yeah, I had the bad take, but I still feel convicted. No, I don't feel convicted. Actually, I was sad as hell, and I want to admit that in front of the world.
All
Listen,
right.
pal. I love you, Juju, and I never want to see you sad. I'm happy you're sad about this. Thank you for telling us.
I can dig it, and I definitely deserve it, man. Rooting for Boston in the Miami show, I deserve this.
Juju, we know you're all over the WNBA. You got the jerseys hanging up there. What did you make of Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark this weekend?
Yeah, man, I think the world, we got to pump the brakes on some of our takes between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. It's a basketball play. It's a basketball move. They called a flagrant foul. Angel got upset. I don't think we have to go to the race wars every single time Angel does anything, or Caitlin to that matter. I think those ladies deserve way more respect for their basketball games versus the angry mobs that come out whenever they get an opportunity to.
Did you
But it
see
was a
any
great
commentary that you didn't agree with?
I mean, you know, we got people like RG3 out here. We got a lot of people trying to get in the spotlight these days. I feel like they're take artists these days. They're not really. I don't remember these people being so loud about the WNBA before Caitlin Clark came. I've been here a fan of the WNBA for years and years. And so I feel like the people who are new to the space, they should at least wipe their feet at the door and talk about the actual game before they get into how they don't like this or what they don't like about it. You feel me?
So, Juju, you're talking about Dan, right?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not talking about Dan at all.
Juju, come on, Juju.
Okay, sure.
Kind of sounds like it.
Absolutely. Nah, I'm talking about the RG3s of the world. I'm talking about the Dave Portnoys of the world. I'm talking about, I got a long list of people, but I'm about peace and unity. So I don't want to bring those people any light on our podcast. But at the same time, I just feel like we should show the women more respect than just the hyping up of the negativity. Like Nafisa Collier had a great weekend, got 2 wins this weekend with her Minnesota Lynx. A lot of good stuff happening around the league, and we're focusing on that one moment like it was the biggest. Look, the Sky got blew out. Newsflash, the Fever are doing great. DeWanna Bronner crossed the 3rd all-time leading scorers list. She passed Tina Thompson. You feel me? Like it's a lot going on more than that one moment. You feel me?
Juju, what was the audience reaction today to us talking hockey for basically the first 2 hours of the show?
Yes, luckily we have a big support group from Florida and Miami. But yeah, the people in there who are, let's just say, from Kansas and Nebraska, they didn't really give a damn as much as we did. But thank you for your listeners, your loyal listeners.
All right, let's update the polls, Juju, if you have them. The polls at LeBatard Show on Twitter. I think we had a bunch today, Ju.
Hell yeah. I'm going to need my brother. Oh, dang. Well, I need some help with this one. Don't judge me for reading this bad. Sin vergüenza descarado.
You got it. Nailed it.
Kind of nailed it. Sin vergüenza y descarado.
Okay, there we go. 77% of the audience says C.
Biz nasty rat bastard stole my bit.
Right, I couldn't believe that. Now, come on, we can't be stealing bits across these platforms. I would see if they was worshiping some kind of throne, but they put the pictures on the actual candles, just like our great Sambo Selly. Tony, you have been robbed. I will fight to the death to defend your honor.
Thank you, my brother.
Do you ever see red and white striped peppermints anywhere other than in a bowl at a restaurant?
Nope.
75% of the audience says no, they do not. Worst take in show history.
Oh, jeez. Dan
on Roy Hibbert, Witty on the Panthers, Stugotz on Patrick Mahomes, or Dan on the Lions. 70% of the audience says Stugotz with Patrick Mahomes.
Wow. Thank you.
Congrats.
Wow. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Should Reggie Miller be in the Hall of 9 Seconds?
Yeah, got it.
90% of the audience says yes, he should.
Makes sense.
Guy's not a Hall of Famer.
Is there always going to be a Bickerstaff coaching somewhere? 95% of the audience says yes.
Detroit.
Is every single Maple Leafs fan a loser? 78% of the audience says yes, they are.
All right.
Better feeling, winning Game 7 on the road or winning Game 7 at home? 52% of the audience says on the road. Yeah, salute to the Joker. That was a tough way to go out for the quote-unquote MVP.
Awful.
Shame on you for that performance.
Thank you, Juju.
Hell yeah. I think the world wants to see Minnesota versus New York in the finals because of the Cat and Julius Randle trade, Dante DiVincenzo. That'd be awesome.
It's the rare trade that actually worked out for both sides. It's crazy.
Right.
Like we say it all the time, but this one did.
Right. Like we are one series away from that happening, and we are also away from one series away from Pacers versus Thunder, which I don't think I would want to watch all of those games.
Like Pacers Thunder. I'm telling you, the Pacers villainry in that point, I would be really awesome to watch them go against the best team of the NBA. That's all I'm saying.
And that says a lot right there. Do you know why hockey arenas are called barns? 80% of the audience says no. Do you know anything about Winnipeg other than they have the Jets? 82% of the audience says no, and those are your polls.
All right, you. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow, my man.
Yes, sir.